Hi, this is Rev Ed with today's Back Porch Devotional from Psalm 49. Why should I fear in times of trouble, when the iniquity of those who cheat me surrounds me, those who trust in their wealth and boast in the abundance of their riches? Truly, no man can ransom another or give to God the price of his life, for the ransom of their life is costly and can never suffice, that he should live on forever and never see the pit. For he sees that even the wise die. The fool and the stupid alike must perish and leave their wealth to others. Their graves are their homes forever, their dwelling places to all generations, though they called lands by their own names. Man in his pomp will not remain. He is like the beasts that perish. This is the path of those who have foolish confidence, yet after them people approve of their boasts. Like sheep, they are appointed for Sheol. Death shall be their shepherd, and the upright shall rule over them in the morning. Their form shall be consumed in Sheol, with no place to dwell. But God will ransom my soul from the power of Sheol, for he will receive me. Be not afraid when a man becomes rich, when the glory of his house increases. For when he dies, he will carry nothing away. His glory will not go down after him. For though while he lives he counts himself blessed, and though you get praise when you do well for yourself, his soul will go to the generation of his fathers, who will never again see light. Man in his pomp, yet without understanding, is like the beasts that perish. The psalm is another one of the psalms of the sons of Korah, and it's just a meditation on the futility of putting your trust in wealth and riches and in what you can accomplish in this life. He says, why should I fear in times of trouble, when the people who are wealthy and arrogant surround me? You know, we see a lot of evidence of the arrogance of the rich in our day, but the rich have always been arrogant, and somehow they believe that because they are rich, they're better than others. And indeed, I'm not sure when it was that we got this idea in our head that to be poor is somehow to be morally deficient. Those who are rich suffer much greater temptations to wickedness than those who are poor. But those who are rich also suffer the temptation of trusting in their riches. Nobody gets to take their money with them. As the old saying goes, no one has ever seen an armored car in a funeral procession. And the psalmist is quite plain about those who have trusted in earthly things. Like sheep, they are appointed for Sheol, which is the Hebrew word for the place of the dead. Death shall be their shepherd. Their form will be consumed in Sheol, with no place to dwell. But those who have trusted in God will be ransomed from Sheol, and the upright shall rule over all things. So we do not need to worry about the rich running roughshod over the rest of the world, because their day is coming. Those who are wealthy and who belong to Christ have a special duty to use their wealth on behalf of others. There's nothing sinful about being rich, and there's nothing inherently upstanding about being poor. Both have their own sets of challenges. But if we have material goods, we have to remember that we have been blessed in order to be a blessing. But for those who trust in their riches, great danger awaits. And this psalm is essentially the Old Testament commentary on Jesus' parable in Luke chapter 12 about the rich fool. He says, life does not consist in the abundance of one's possessions. And he told them a parable, saying, the land of a rich man produced plentifully. And he thought to himself, what shall I do? For I have nowhere to store my crops. And he said, I'll do this. I will tear down my barns and build larger ones. And there I will store all my grain and my goods. And I will say to my soul, soul, you have ample goods laid up for many years. Relax, eat, drink, be merry. But God said to him, fool, this night your soul is required of you, and the things you have prepared, whose will they be? So is the one who lays up treasure for himself and is not rich toward God. There is nothing that we can store up in this life that we can take with us to the next. But when we store up treasure in heaven, we are promised infinite reward. We need to remember that all of the material blessings in this life will be superseded when the life to come is in its fullness. Jesus said in Mark chapter 8, he said, what does it profit a man if he gains the whole world but loses his soul? It is important to be well fed and to be well housed and to be safe from harm and to have good health and to have a society where justice and righteousness prevail. These are all good and necessary things. But nothing is more necessary than having a soul that is in right relationship with God. If you have put your trust in God through faith in Jesus Christ, then if you have nothing else, you still have everything. But if you have everything this world affords, and you do not have that relationship with God through faith in Christ, you have absolutely nothing. It's just worth pondering that this day, to know that we can't put our trust in earthly things, and we don't need to be frustrated when those who have a lot of earthly things seem to be gaining the upper hand. We need to pray for them, and we need to pray for ourselves, that we'll have the right relationship and the right attitude towards whatever material stuff God has entrusted to us. And again, remembering that whatever blessings we have received are given to us for the sake of blessing others. Put your trust in God. Lay up treasure in heaven and sleep well at night, knowing that your life is in God's hands. God's blessings be upon you.